Oh, hey guys.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Gruhn Repair Shop.
Volume 5.
Volume 5.
Gruhn, Homeskoolin goes to Gruhn's. This is Greg's office. Look at this. Greg's office here. Lots of cool guitars on the walls.
Cool,
got some signatures.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Vaughn's up there.
Dude, everyone's up
there.
You're up there too. You're up there.
Ah, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tony Nagy. Hey
Tony
man.
Nagy, hey, the repair shop manager here at Gruhn's. Corey Terrell, everyone knows Corey.
Yes. No relation to Tammy, as I say every time.
No relation. Unfortunately,
We thought this episode would be dynamite if we walked around, showed off the repair shop a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, and
We have not done that in
No,
4 episodes.
no.
Yeah.
So meet a couple of repair guys. Tony's got something awesome on his bench. You want to show these guys what you got?
Absolutely.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're on concert. I just like to stop and look at the occasional
There's
things,
a
you know.
lot of things going on.
All right, so Tony, this is your cubicle.
This is in the heat of battle over here.
Look at this
So,
stuff. It's crazy.
It just so happens right now, I'm working on one of those kind of instruments, and actually the kinds of repairs that kind of bring to bear more of your skill set than usual.
Bit challenging.
Yeah, a little bit challenging. Well, they're all have their own challenges, but this has just a little more going on. So this is a 59 burst Les Paul and
Gibson, right?
Yeah, Gibson. That is. Yeah. And well, somebody thought they wanted to have some extra stuff going on, so they put a toggle switch in the horn and a coil tap switch in between the knobs and an extra output jack.
Holy
And
shit,
so-
let's see that.
So my challenge right now is now I've plugged that up already. I've got everything except for the back
I think you should stop right there. It looks perfect.
plug. But the challenge is to really make these things go away as much as humanly possible, so that we still have that beautiful aesthetic,
I've seen your working. I've seen you make it go away. It's amazing how you can make something invisible.
And so these are going to be plugs and touch-ups, these 3. But this back one is going to be, we're going to put a veneer on here, mahogany, that'll go up to somewhere in this vicinity, and then I just have to make the transition look good and match the color when I'm done.
You're gonna have to draw in the grain lines. And all that.
Maybe across the transitions I will, but I'm going to try to do. I'm choosing a piece of wood. I've got some good Honduran mahogany, and I'll choose a piece of wood that has the same kind of vibe going on. Maybe find some lines that match and stuff like that. It's just like it's part of actually the joy of doing this. It's fun.
When you guys, oh man, I mean, I know you guys spent a long time working on these things and repairing these things. This is probably the most satisfying type. When you get done,
when you hit it,
Yes.
and it's good, and you go and you look at it, and you go, yeah, that's why I do this.
Yeah,
because it's a lot of work, and actually, if you let it be, it can be stress too, because this is an expensive instrument, and
That's right.
you want it has to be right. Not only do you want it to be right,
Yes.
you have no choice really.
One shot, basically.
So and so you might, and on these holes too, you have to plug the inside and the outside.
Mm-hmm.
See where the output jack, and that cool thing. So
you can paint out.
yeah. Now these are easier repairs, I should say, because I can just schmutz this up and really make it blend in a lot easier than, say, when this is like this plug right here. I chose it because it had a little grain squirrel right there, like the other ones that are going around.
Yeah.
And I got one line. I'll probably take that one grain right here across it. But first, I'll smear, slightly opaque out any seams and try to make them disappear. It's almost like a little game of misdirection.
So
But
cool.
the end result and the goal is to make it so when you look at this instrument, nothing detracts from the natural beauty.
Yeah.
Making completely invisible repairs,
Right.
even though that is the ultimate goal, it's not always possible. But doing an awesome repair to make sure the instrument still looks beautiful,
Yeah, right.
that's the big deal. And
It's just like a nice guitar, but it's got a sweet neck. Let's feel it.
oh yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, man. 59 Gibson. Man, do you have pictures of it where it was all monkeyed up?
Yeah, I have some somewhere. I'm
Do
sure.
you?
Oh yeah,
I'd love to see.
I like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe
like
I'll
that.
paste some on the end of this video. So
Yeah.
that's it.
It's finished too.
That's it. It's sick. Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
You've done a bunch of these, Greggy.
I've done some, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I've done some, yeah. I don't know if anybody could be doing bunches of them, but I think if you've done it like 4 or 5 instruments,
Right. That's a
this
bunch.
caliber, this kind
Yeah.
of work, you've done a bunch, I
That's
guess.
a bunch.
you know?
That's right. That's right.
Until you do a lot of small repairs that all add to the skill set for doing
Yeah.
the big ones.
That's
you know,
right.
small touch-ups, little structural things, making them disappear as best you
Okay,
can.
I'm gonna ask both of you guys because Corey and I are just guitar players. We're not repair guys. What is the most pain in the ass repair in the history of guitars?
Removing bridge plates on pre-war Martins, they're
Okay.
tucked. They're tucked in, so removing them in a nice,
Yeah.
clean way is
Without
really
destroying
hard.
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
That's got to be the toughest procedure, I think.
Let me throw a couple at you. How about rebinding a Gretsch?
Time consuming.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. See,
Okay.
the allowed time for something like that is 30 to 40 plus hours.
Right.
It's sucky work.
Yeah.
Because it's time consuming. But something like removing a bridge plate, you're supposed to get it done in 5 to 8 hours or whatever it might be. On something that's tucked pre-war, I mean that's a day-long operation. Just
Yeah, because you got to go slow so you don't destroy anything and start gently getting stuff loose.
Yeah.
Doing neck sets on like multi-laminate necks. Like I just did a neck set on L5 and it was a horror show. You know, to get it out, there's so much surface area that was glued up. It's this huge neck tenon. No telling how many square inches of glued surfaces there were. And then when it come by the amount of heat it took to come out, neck starts to come apart. You got to put all that back together before you get it put in and readjust it. That was the hardest neck set
When
I ever
you
did.
finally get the thing out, is it like a moment of massive celebration?
Oh yeah.
Is
After
it?
that, you're
Yeah.
probably done for the day.
Right.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
It's time to go and go to the house. And
Yeah. On these type of projects, a lot of folks that attempt to do these repairs, they're really difficult to do. But a lot of folks, they really focus on the colors. The colors are super important. Touch up the layering and how to get it on there. The biggest and coolest tip and the reality behind any of these projects is to get your woodworking to be almost 100% solid. If your woodworking is solid and you got your plugs nice and tight and everything looks good, you're like 50% there with your touch-up. You're so much closer than you were before. So the better your woodworking is on the front side, the easier your touch-up goes.
I never could understand. I mean, I know nothing about this stuff. How you can sand on an original finish to make it smooth, and then you don't see that you sanded on it.
Right.
How does that even work?
This one had some overspray to begin with.
Okay.
However, there is a thickness. You're not supposed to get into it too much. And if you do, or if you picture yourself doing something like that, I would actually throw a little bit of clear on it just to make sure that that's what I'm hitting
So
before it gets
you're
nice
able to
and
throw the
flush.
clear at the end, and that's what makes it
Correct, and a little bit before it,
right.
and then afterwards when you're doing your color touch up, and then you lock everything in, and then there's enough clear coats that you put on it because in 6 months or 9 months it's going to still sink a little bit where you did that repair. You want to have enough clear coat on it so you can take like 1,000 or 1,500 grit of paper and make that happen for all the sinkies.
also, too, I'll probably take a little bit of the color away from the seams so I can really see them, and I'll really obscure them. I don't completely opaque them because then you have to start doing way more like drawing. Because one thing you can't see that makes repairs glare is that you've got all the grains and everybody can see that, but if you get closer and closer, you see there's really hundreds and hundreds of tiny little grains beneath that, and that texture in between the other stuff that draws your eye. You don't know it's there until it isn't there, and all of a sudden you go, hey, there's something wrong there. I don't know what, but it's wrong. And so trying to do the least amount of opaquing out seams and stuff like that, so you can have the most amount of natural wood showing. Building the whole thing from the bottom up. You want this wood to look like the wood underneath there. You want the next layer to, of this of the yellow to be like that. Then the next layer is a little bit of cherry, and then on top of that, the antique lacquer. So you build it up, and you want each layer to look as much like the original one as possible. So at the end, then,
Explain about neck tenons. What's going on with the neck tenon on this 59 Les Paul?
Well, that's how the neck is glued in. You can actually see the tenon and where it comes in.
Okay.
Right? That's your squeeze out pocket,
Yeah.
right? So that when you glue the neck itself in, that's the way it looks. This is trued up when they route for the pickup.
Yeah.
That's why that looks nice and tight.
Oh,
That's
so
your
when
squeeze out
the
pocket.
neck is actually longer before they do the route?
Oh yeah, well that's all wood right there, all the way up to there, and then you route out for the pickup.
I see.
Correct.
So,
So a Martin guitar looks the same way on the inside. If we're able to look inside of the top where the dovetail actually gets glued in the back pocket, we call that the squeeze out pocket, and it's the same thing there.
What's this stripe right there? What's that?
Oh, that's maple strip.
Is that for the truss rod?
Yeah, it goes in
yeah.
and in a curved slot there on these single action truss rods.
Okay.
The slot is curved, and then you put a big maple strip in and holds the truss rod down against the back of the curved slot, so that when you tighten it, it straightens out. And
why do you leave the one stud in there? Is that so you can grab it?
because it was hard to get out, and I didn't want to screw up the thread.
Okay, I thought there was some.
It wasn't coming out. It was it just and I just left it for now. It wasn't hurting anything. Wasn't hurting anybody. I thought, all right,
I got
you want to stay your original?
I got
Let's
you.
just-
Yeah, stay there. So all these crazy tools, you had to make some of these, didn't you? All you could
Oh,
repair
I
was-
have so many tools I've had to make. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I've got bins over here with literally hundreds of plexiglass templates for doing stuff.
Look at that old Goldtop over there. What's that?
Oh yeah, well, I believe that's 53 Goldtop. I'm doing some gold touch-up on there. Somebody
Is that the one that was all beat up, Griggy?
no, that's a different one.
That's
from
a different
the
one.
shop. Yeah. This somebody bought. It was routed for. Somebody routed it out for humbuckers and stuff, and somebody blocked it back up and did a touch-up, but the touch-up really didn't happen all the way. And so I'm going to go back and redo the gold flake touch-up,
I see.
and then I'll recheck that a little
Is
bit.
that from the original Guard? Just like that's
Yeah.
that's sick, man.
So check it out. That's your tenon on there, right there. The squeeze out pocket.
Okay.
It's much shallower
Should
route.
name this episode "Squeeze Out Pocket." I like that. That's good. That's cool. All right, so this is a 53. Yeah, wrap around. What's any headstock brakes or anything?
No, this is good.
That's good.
It's a cool guitar.
Yeah, that's right.
Good weight.
Look at the cavity there. I like that shit. Yeah.
Got a little bit of extra action in there.
Yeah.
Somebody's been in there monkeying about.
It's a little bit of monkey business. What are you seeing there?
It's big heel. Nice, beautiful.
Just big, and beautiful.
Big heel.
Big and beautiful.
Sick, man. Beautiful wood, right?
It is. This is cool too. Hanging
Yeah.
here. Tony's gonna do a top finish on it. This is a 0042 from, I believe it's
30s.
37, 38. Yeah.
What are you just feeling for?
The
there?
X-Brace.
Ah,
See if it's.
Yeah.
See if it's
Ford.
forward or rear.
Yeah.
see, I did
Actually,
that.
we're going to do some more repairs. Somebody did a splice there, and the wood is just too dark. It's got the wrong kind of grain, so I'm going to redo that.
Which is a real shame.
Yeah, because the repair was done really well. They just
Yeah.
needed to have used the right wood to do it, and probably do a center seam.
Agreed.
That's the other thing they didn't do that I'll be doing.
Agreed. But I'll tell you, the woodworking on this is beautiful.
It
I think
really
they
is.
did such a nice job. If this wasn't just so dark, it
Yeah.
wouldn't pop out.
It's just the wrong. Using the wrong wood with the wrong grain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great
Make
guitar
it look
though.
like it never happened.
I wanna.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that is another thing, that the idea of doing a solid repair, and every once in a while you'll get it where you can make some stuff disappear. You
Make
know?
it barely visible.
Yeah, and to make it the least amount of visible. Sometimes once you get to 95, 96%, you have to make a decision. Do I want it to be
Right.
how good, how much harder? And sometimes too, you'll try to do that last few percent, and you have to start over.
Yeah.
That's right.
You have to decide what, each instrument, you go all the way up, use all your skills, and just hope, and want it to be the very best it can be,
Yeah. And why did you choose to black out your window? Over
Because it's
there?
too much light. It's more romantic.
Because people like you are looking at
That's it, man.
This is awesome, Tony. Thanks
Isn't
for
it
the
cool?
tour, man.
Let's walk,
So cool.
let's walk down here
Yeah,
and see what else we
man.
got cooking, man.
All right. All right, so this is the hallway where old Larry always comes and looks and sees what's hanging.
That's right.
Right? 'Cause-
Tom Stadler.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's
Tom
another
Stadler
one.
doing his thing.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
how's
how's
it
it
going,
going?
man? You all right?
I'm great. How about you?
Good.
Gruhn Guitars has the best repair guys working here. I love all these guys.
Yes.
And I worked with Tom geez, that Gruhn 17, 18 years ago,
Yeah.
he's back around cooking
No kidding.
again, you know? So,
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. So he's from the old days.
from the old days.
Cool.
He's changed. He's buffed up a little bit.
Yeah, you buffed up. All right.
This is Nathan Gallagher.
Yeah, what's up,
What's up?
dude? How you doing?
Good. Check. Actually, got a pretty interesting piece here.
It's interesting as hell.
Yep. This is a 1934 0040H shade top.
Good lord.
Yeah, I've worked on other 0040Hs, but this is the only one I've ever seen this early in the 30s with this burst.
And you know, it's a different shade top, too.
Yep.
This is a dark top.
Man,
Yeah.
that is just sexy as hell.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, it's cool.
Damn, dude.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
I bet it weighs like an ounce. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't
Is
weigh
like-
much. So it was
God.
set up for Hawaiian playing, so it doesn't need refretted. That's all factory.
What's all this craziness?
Well, that is
Broken nut?
well, it actually came
Oh.
with the original,
Crazy.
but I don't know why whoever had it had to crudely sort of gnaw the original ivory off.
Wow.
Either way, it still sits on there.
So
and,
somebody had this set up for Hawaii?
it was built for Hawaiian
yeah.
playing.
So
that's
it's
that's
an
the
H.
H in 0040H.
Oh, I
This
didn't
one
even
played
notice
on the
it.
lap.
I didn't even notice it didn't have fronts. Okay,
Yeah.
the light is hitting it.
There's no radius.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
radius.
flat-
no
flat
radius.
Flat Martin bridge too.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's a really good example of a 30s style.
I mean, I
Belly.
didn't even know this existed.
Me neither.
I didn't
this
either.
just came in for what? What is this here for?
Not much.
Like an appraisal, or-
No, I'm working
It's
on it.
work
We
right
own
now.
it. Yeah, we own it.
Yeah. Dude, this is super rare. I didn't even know we had this.
Yeah, I pulled that out of the pile and I was like, go time.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
You got
cool.
some really nice instruments hanging
I
here.
do, man. I'm really glad. I'm really fortunate and glad. Well, you still got the camera going.
Is that a Larson?
Which one?
That one in your hand?
No.
No,
that
this one right
Yeah.
here is one of a kind. This is the only one, and it's a 7-string from 19. Yeah, check out that long bridge.
7-string pyramid bridge.
Boy, you don't find that at guitar.
No.
Maybe
Or
Sam
the-
asked
or that peg head. Yeah.
You got it?
Yep.
Pyramid bridge.
And then that's the only peg head I've ever
that's
seen
amazing.
like that too.
Wow, dude. Let
Yep.
me see that peg head. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Look at the back of the peg.
That's from the 30s?
No, this is
Oh.
probably 1898 or 1902.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's called a William Fodden special, and I know that guy was a musician. I'm not familiar with him. But this is the only one where the center seam backstripe actually has William Fodden like stamped on the inside instead of C.F.
How do you
Martin.
spell that? Fodden.
Fodden.
Yeah.
Fodden.
Crazy, man.
And then this would be a Larson.
Yeah, that's a cool one there too.
What are we calling this?
That's it looks like a Euphony
Yeah, but
because
it's
of
a
the
prairie
peg head
state?
shape,
Yeah.
but it's a prairie state.
Yeah.
And I just finished refretting this and
Man, that's
resetting the
crazy.
neck.
Look at that
Got
peg head,
bridge.
Lloyd Bates.
Lloyd Bates.
Unbelievable, man. And then this crazy
got
rod,
you,
what's this
Lloyd.
all about?
This is original, and then this was patented in like the late 1930s. They did this one with this actually isn't a coordinator rod. It runs and bolts to the outside of the neck block and the tail block to hold the geometric shape of the instrument. You know, to
Crazy.
keep it from deforming on itself. Larsons were the early like steel string acoustic
I
guitar.
can't believe that
guys in
dates
the
back to what year, that guitar? Okay.
30s.
This one's 30s.
And they were doing that shit in the 30s?
Yep.
I've
They
never
were
seen
starting to do it in the 30s.
that. Did Martin ever do that? No.
They didn't do rods.
Yeah.
And the other patent they have is you'll see George has them downstairs where they have 2 rods in there, and then the lower one extends out and comes around the heel. So it's holding it from the front, and then it pulls away at it at the back to just keep everything
which
in
is
line.
overkill.
Overkill.
I've never
Yeah.
seen a Larson Brothers and that come out or his.
Wow, man.
And that's just a regular dovetail.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's a nice type.
Pretty
dovetail.
sick, right?
Yeah, it is. Too.
Yeah, it is.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it has that on there. Check
Yeah.
this out. Is this the D'Angelico?
That's the D'Angelico.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at the peg head. You can always tell the DA's, the DA peg heads.
Unreal, man. I'm going to make some headstock tuners look like that.
Nice.
Yes,
Look
man.
at that.
Nice.
Whole world.
That'd be amazing. Wow, look at that. I didn't even know they made mandolins.
And then sometimes, if you look for, this one doesn't have a label. And we might have covered this on one episode of Homeskoolin, where I made mention of it. You guys check out old D'Angelico labels on, say, mandolins. Look at the border, the perimeter of the label itself.
Right.
Look at it very, very carefully. Everyone's going to be really surprised what
All
they see.
right,
when they see
okay,
it.
yeah. Oh, man, I can only guess.
Can you? What is it?
Something like really like offensive?
Check, yeah.
Offensive?
Dude,
like
I'll never forget this.
swastikas or something?
Yeah.
Is
There's
it?
like 100
Yeah.
swastikas bordering the label on an old Angelica.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Chew on that, boys. All right.
Chew on that one. Wow.
Nathan Gallagher.
Okay.
Love you guys. See you.
Thanks for the tour, Nathan.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Awesome.
Come back anytime.
All right, here, look at that. Cool L-double-O. Very
There's old Jim
nice.
Messina's.
That's Jim
Yeah,
Messina's,
it's beautiful.
yeah.
That's
It's-
old Jim Machine.
Oh,
It is,
really?
It is caving in on its set.
Is it?
There's Julio Pino working on a
Yo, how you doing,
How are
buddy?
you doing, guys?
What you working on, boss?
Man, it's this is my mandolin. It's not. It's you know, Gibson, probably 60s.
Yeah.
But I love to tweak and get different sounds. So what I did, I installed a K&K. This is not a very expensive
Yeah.
instrument. You know, I have the freedom to.
Right.
So I installed a vintage
Monkey on a stick.
DiMarzio, yeah, and then I installed a K&K inside.
Killer.
So I'm doing like a stereo
Nice.
jack, so I can send to different pedals. The
Yeah.
electric can go to like you know
That's
a
amazing.
Monica amp, and the other one. To,
Amazing. Man,
Yeah,
you get
something
all
like that.
experimental.
Talking about the Angelica.
All
there's
right.
another-
nice
The-
rebound F holes that
the-
Julio did.
Yeah, that's
You did those?
yeah. I'm doing the rebounding now. I need to color match the. And then the cap here was all rotten too. I just did a new one.
Mm-hmm. That's good, bud. Wow.
Show him that Day Armand again, pal. This is beautiful, man.
It's a beautiful
You
thing.
got an old rocket over there, an
Yeah,
old
the
V28.
50s here.
Yeah, man.
Doing some refret, rebinding.
That's a 50s Paul?
Yeah,
You doing a refresh on
Goldtop,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
putting some new binding
Wow.
on it.
It's 52. Yeah.
That's in there.
Very cool.
Good stuff.
But it's got a serial number. Oh, it's early 53.
Yeah, 53. Yes.
So they still did trapezes in 53.
And then
I
the
did
other
not
half,
know
they
that.
went to the wraparound.
Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Learning every day.
So we're at homeschooling. Is that where you're?
Yeah, man. We're
Wow.
homeschooling.
It's
Yeah.
honored
We're
to-
doing a full repair shop
Right
video.
on. Nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you guys.
buddy.
Thanks
All
for
right.
stopping by.
There you go. What's Stadler working on here? Stadler's writing tickets. Let's see what Lynn's working on here. Hey, Lynn. Oh, man.
You haven't talked much.
I'm not a repair guy.
Lynn Krausen. Lynn Krausen, Gruhn guitars.
Lynn has been on the homeschooling show before. Do you guys remember Lynn?
Lynn's the best.
I've been here.
Lynn's great. He's
How
the
you doing,
best.
bro? Dude, what are you working on? Jesus.
Working on a 63 Explorer.
63?
Yeah, man.
It does not exist, does it?
No, it doesn't. You're not seeing anything.
It really exists?
It is a refin, but we sold this guitar originally in '87, and it had already been refinished in '87.
And I only thought, see,
This one's verified. This one's verified.
what the hell?
Yeah, this one is agreed upon by everyone.
63 Explorer, boys?
Yeah.
That's
one,
cool.
The only one in the world, maybe?
Oh, no, who knows how many?
Yeah.
You know,
The only
because
one.
they've
Not
said
a
that
lot of 'em.
they said that like they made 40 like husks, and only 19 were put together in '58 and '59. So who knows? There
Who
may
knows?
be
Did it
more of
have
these
patent
out there.
stickers?
They have patent sticker pickups. Everything is 63. It's all. The Bigsby was added later.
Right.
But look at the year,
Wow.
the magic year of '63. '63's got to be the weirdest year for Gibson, because they had so many things come out.
Right.
They had different ideas. They had from prototypes to Mavericks to
Right.
'63 was the year.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is crazy.
And this one came in and the wiring was all messed up, so I'm redoing the wiring. And I'm about to pull the frets and refret it.
Lynn is the guy that authenticates all the Fenders, old Fenders, yeah? And many other things. And Gibson.
Gibson's, Fenders, old electrics.
When you think about your years of tearing apart old Fenders to authenticate this and that, I mean, first of all, it's got to be very stressful when you're when you're trying to authenticate it.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's straightforward. Sometimes
Right.
there's no questions about it. But then sometimes you're looking at it like,
Yeah,
what is this? Or
Okay.
what is that?
All these years of looking at old Fenders, what is the strangest thing you've ever seen on an original Fender thing?
Well, I found a joint in one once. Well,
I
actually,
mean, something that Fender did.
that joint right there hanging out of Homer's mouth, I pulled out of a Telecaster.
Nice.
I mean, you'll see weirdo things from time to time, but it's hard to put my finger on what exactly the weirdest thing.
Anomaly. Strangest thing. I asked him what the weirdest Fender thing he's ever seen was.
Weirdest Fender. This Fender's weird. I was gonna say, if it was a generic question, we had in one day a 58 Flying V come in, and then we had the pre-case fit prototype of the Flying
We
V
had two
come in
at the
from
same
58
time.
as well. So, I guess the pre-case fit, the peg head is an inch taller than standard production on the Flying Vs. And in one day, we had a production 58 and the prototype of the 58 come in. So we took photos side by side, and you were able to see the peg head was literally like an inch taller.
Yeah.
And one of them had the butt stinger.
Yeah,
I don't know which one it was.
it was
on
the original,
yeah.
the prototype.
Butt stinger? What's a butt stinger?
The butt stinger. You know the way there's
It's
Gibson
got a
has,
diamond on the.
Oh.
You know the way Gibsons have stingers on the
Yeah,
back of the
yeah.
peg head, and a Flying V inside of the crotch. There
Right.
is a plug.
Oh.
It's covering up the biscuit that they use to join the two
Oh,
body
but yeah.
heads together.
Okay. So that's an old Bixby, obviously. That's what,
Yeah.
Like an old horseshoe.
But that was an interesting day. I
Wow.
just posted
bet it's got a big
earlier
neck
about two 54s that we had on the
neck.
same day that were two serial numbers apart.
Damn.
It's pretty rare to see.
Wow, man.
But
Let me ask you this:
mhm.
looking at so many Fenders, you've looked at like a bazillion Fenders and other instruments as well. Let me ask you this: what was the furthest apart neck and body? Not later 60s.
Great question.
Not
Yeah.
later 60s.
Yeah,
I'm talking about pre-CBS.
yeah.
Okay, pre-CBS. What's the furthest apart you've seen an original neck to an original body be apart
Well,
in years?
I would have to
Months, I should
say,
say.
that would have to be hardtail strats.
Okay,
I have seen them actually be a couple of years apart.
right, but you know for sure that they were born together because of the transfer and
transfer
everything.
and everything looks great. But if you think about it, they made the bodies in batches.
Right.
They made a batch of bodies, and then they used them up as they got orders for them. So, now I'm not years and years apart, but like a 56 with a 57 or
2 years. Okay, so what about not a hardtail, more of a common strat like a 61-2?
It's usually just a couple of months apart.
Right. What's the most you've seen? Have you seen like 10 months and we're sure that it was born together?
I believe I have seen something that has been. We had one not too long ago that it was almost a year out of date, but there was nothing that
There you
said
go. Yeah.
that it was not
Right.
right. Everything on it looked like it was right, and everything was the right appointments for that year. But the body was from everything was from the earlier in the year. The neck was later in the year.
I see a couple of cool guitars in here that I might have to inquire about.
That
Right here, you got
special?
a 59 LP special TV.
Yeah, that one's got a
Bad thing.
bad repair on the back of it.
Oh boy.
It broke and they doweled it, so I'm in the process of making that all go away.
Oh boy. So that's before they moved the pickup.
Yeah.
So there's no wood holding the neck onto the body.
Yeah, so the earlier ones, it's not really an if they're gonna break, but when they're gonna
Look
break.
at how little wood that is. That's like a ½ inch of wood, yeah?
If that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you got like,
So-
I mean, that's like a
Quarter.
quarter.
Yeah. So they just didn't think about that, did they?
No, I mean, most of the things that they had pickups that were further back.
Sure.
So it may have been a design thing that they figured in the last moments when they were getting ready
Right.
to do it. But
A couple of things I've always been in awe of, like they didn't think about this when it came out the door. Like the vibrato, the trematone vibrato on those Epiphone Crestwoods that makes the guitar unplayable.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
there's
and the
zero
ones
string break.
Yeah, they've
Right.
got the
Like,
different.
Every,
Oh, yeah.
every one of those that went out the door was unplayable from the time it was new.
And they tried to, I
It's
understand what they were
amazing.
trying to do. They were trying
Yeah.
to make I believe they were trying to make the notes dump the same and the tension the same because the barrels are different sizes for each one of the strings. So it was made to
An early
compensate for
trans trim.
something.
Yes.
But was it to make all the notes seem to bend the same,
Weird.
or was it tension wise?
I don't know.
Or
Does your
something
Duesenberg
weird?
have different barrels for the Bigsby?
Mm,
Like different
I don't know.
size?
I don't know.
I've been seeing that on newer type.
But they're very
mechanical
smooth.
Truck,
Yeah, they're very smooth.
vibratos.
They make Duesenberg makes a really good winning bar.
Yeah, they do.
They're
Hey,
good.
what that one on what's
Yeah.
that guitar?
Powers Electric.
Those Powers electric guitars, the way they made the vibra, dude, that's
awesome.
amazing.
Is
They
it?
call it a cam trim.
Let's
and
see
it's
it.
got
Oh,
it's
it
got
works.
different
Vibrato's
size,
well. Vibrato's
different
good.
size
Yeah.
for each string
Yeah.
to compensate for the thickness of the string. It's really kind of genius.
Does it go down in tune like a trans trim used to?
Not exactly,
Yeah.
but much like a Bigsby, it's set up like that. When you apply pressure, you're
Right.
obviously loosening it, and it's almost like an even, and it comes back even.
Cool.
And
Price.
it's pretty consistent.
Price stayed in tune.
I mean,
those
we
too.
really wanged the heck out of those
Yeah,
things, and they
cool.
stay
Yeah.
in tune.
What about this 63 or 4 SG here, Glenn? What's
no,
that?
that one right there is getting a neck set on it. And,
It needs a neck set, huh?
yeah, the neck joint came loose.
See, there's a shim in there right there. It's actually, there's not much holding it on except the strap button and
Wow.
that shim on the side.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
I've got some more shimming because there's
I like the
got
way
some
that.
gaps in a couple of places I
The
don't want.
cherry looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
a good
gonna
one.
be
But the neck joint just came loose on that one,
Yeah.
and somebody had previously tried to re-glue it, so I
Yeah.
had to go through and undo it to re-glue it. So
Sick. Dude, thanks for letting us bother you.
yeah,
Thanks for
All good.
being on the show, Lynn.
yeah,
Appreciate
y'all have
it.
fun. Huh?
All right, dude. Thanks.
Come, let's check out David here.
All right.
This is David Creasel.
Yo, David.
Homeskoolin? What's going on, everybody? How's happening?
David's
Homeskoolin.
dynamite. He works on a lot of the flat top instruments that we have here.
Yeah.
And he also wears this. We've covered this before. This is awesome.
It's sick.
No big deal. But tell the kids what
Very
you're
Texas
cooking on,
Chainsaw Massacre.
Right, that's
it's
it.
great.
That's it.
Yeah,
Trying to scare
yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Gonna pull this neck on a 53 0018 today. Let's slip that neck extension and pull
How
that
close
neck
are
out
you to
of
getting
there.
it out?
I got the extension is loose. Yeah, we're good there.
Damn.
So yeah, we'll start with the heat stick next, and
I would love to
off
see a
we
neck
go.
come out someday.
Is this how you do this right here?
Is this how it's done? Yeah.
Pull it right out.
That's a 45
Look at
LT2,
that.
11 LT2. That
Nice
thing
and
is
clean.
scary. It's real.
Nice and clean. That's the way it should come out.
Loose X braces. We got that taken care of.
Smelling that. Dude,
Oh,
smell
dude.
that glue, right?
It smells like
Yeah,
smells like nice hide glue.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that smell.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's when you
Look
know
how
you're a
beautiful.
real repairman. Look at
That one got
Sorry.
that big old neck.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
Look at that
it's not
feel.
crazy, but it's
This is cool, man.
Bannerhead. What is that?
It's
George, you
45.
have visitors in the
LT2.
showroom. George, you have
LT2,
visitors in
damn,
the
dude.
showroom.
That's a
Nice.
chunky neck.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's a chunk.
That's
Beautiful
big money
color.
guitar, isn't it?
I mean,
That's good.
compared to these, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
it
yeah.
does have some value. Yeah.
So cool, man. That's a beauty.
Yeah, it's cool.
So when you get this out, are you going home?
Yeah, I'll just go in right afterwards. Yeah, I'm
That's what we were
done
just talking
after
about.
that.
Do you feel I just asked these guys a minute ago. Do you feel like an amazing feeling of relief when one finally comes out?
Dude, it's literally my favorite thing in the world. I like making bridges a whole lot.
Yeah.
Take a raw piece of wood and turn it into a bridge.
Yeah.
But pulling a neck is so satisfying.
Is it?
Like when it comes out like that one did, like no problems, everything's beautiful. Like I can rest easy.
I'll bet you've had some nightmares, haven't you?
Of course.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened in that
Dude, those
regard?
Gibsons where they put the top over the neck.
Yeah.
You gotta get that neck out of there when there's nowhere for it to come out. That's a nightmare, but
Yeah.
I've gotten through it. I
Yeah.
know how to take care of it now. You know, you learn by doing it.
Yeah,
But I ran into a Martin that way a couple months ago. It was retopped 33. It was a 31, and they did the same thing where they put the neck in. Took the top off, put the neck back in, and then put the new top on.
Fingerboard on.
Right. Put the fingerboard on. That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
so there's nowhere for it to come out. There's a piece of spruce in between, the mahogany.
Right.
So it's
So you just got to keep steaming it. Steaming it?
test.
You got to go in and cut it out.
Oh,
So
God.
check it out.
I didn't cut that one out. That one came out.
Did it
I
just
steamed
come?
that. No, I pulled it out the side. I got
So
really lucky.
very few instruments. I've only seen them on 1 year Gibson.
Okay.
And then I guess if it goes back to the factory,
Yeah.
this is a re-top thing.
Right.
But when a neck comes out, it should come out in this fashion right here. Okay. It just pulls right out of the body, just like that. Okay. If at some point,
Show us that again. I kind of missed that.
well, here, let me grab this.
Yeah. Okay.
So when the neck comes out, it's a straight pull. There's nothing in the way. It comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, the dovetail is tapered, goes in like a key, it locks in
Only way
place.
it can go in.
Correct.
Right.
Now, if someone decides 50 years ago that they're going to replace the top on it but not want to remove the neck to do it, what they're going to wind up doing is remove the fingerboard. Removing the fingerboard, it exposes all of the squeeze out pocket, what we covered back there. You can see it.
Yeah.
So if you take the top off, you can actually put a new top back on and cover up all of the dovetail, what you need to get past when you're going to pull the neck out. So if you keep steaming it, that's fine, but you're never going to be able to pull it out because the top's in the way. So on those Gibsons, you actually have to come back and cut that out, the top section of it out, to make room to pull it out. You know.
Or, what did you do? Didn't you do something a little different?
Slipped out the side. I got really lucky, and it was just best case scenario where it
Did you go straight to the bar after that?
it was a bit of
I guarantee it. Yeah, dude. Give
But
me
it was
give me a
best case.
double vodka.
Let's go.
Yeah, Jesus.
The
God.
longer it takes you to pull a neck, the more
Yeah.
trouble you're in.
Right.
So I have a system in doing it. Everyone has their system. We spoke about this for many years.
That's right.
Whether you're single
Gone back and
carburetor,
forth.
1 hole, 2 holes, and how you drill and where you put your steam or heat rod or whatever it might be. But the name of the game is to get a neck out. You can get a Gibson neck out in about 25 minutes, flat, right?
15 is what I'm shooting for.
Done. Somewhere around there, 20 minutes, that comes out. Usually it falls right out because the shims are packed so hard. On a Martin, the older ones, they come out very well, especially if you catch that pocket. But on a Martin, you could be looking at maybe 25 to say 35 minutes, maybe a hair longer than that. If you're pulling a neck for over an hour, well, you got big problems because at that point, you're not only contending with loosening up the glue joint, but the actual dovetail swells from all that moisture, so it's tighter than it was before. So the longer you play with it, the more problematic it is, and at some point you just have to leave it there and let it dry out until round number 2 or 3 the next day or the following day.
Damn.
But if you did it right, you hit your fall pocket, you hit everything, and you know it's circulating really well, your steam, when you inject the needle. 20 minutes on a Gibson, say 30 on a Martin.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Patience
Damn.
is the key.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that? The more expensive and the nicer the instruments are, the easier they are to work on. And once you get cheaper and cheaper, that's when the nightmares begin.
Really?
'Cause I've done neck sets on like
K's. and shit.
people, K's and
Yeah.
sovereigns and
Alvarez.
and anything
Yeah.
modern, and it's just you get into a horrible place where
Hardest guitar to get neck out of.
The hardest guitar to get the neck out.
I've heard people say something about
I had-
LGs, certain LGs.
LGs are fine.
No, Gibsons are not hard.
Right.
Martins, maybe early Martins when everything is so
Sure.
tight. A mandolin, lower period mandolin.
Oh,
Getting those
Lord.
necks out is only for rock stars.
Really?
Oh, dude.
I pulled an Alvarez neck that was epoxied in. That was probably the first
So check
thing
it
I
out.
did.
What Tony, to you know,
You ever
add
had
to
an
what
epoxy
Tony
one?
was saying.
oh yeah.
Is the more inexpensive guitars is like we're working on finer instruments here, so most of the instruments we work on are going to be using hide glue. Well, hide glue breaks down with heat and steam very quickly, so the neck comes out nice and easy, and it's still a really strong glue. Once you go to white glue, like a 70s Martin, mid-70s Martin, they used white glue at that point. It literally is like string cheese. As you're getting it going, it still wants to kind of. It's not quite right. You have to pound it more with steam to get that to break up. Then you go from that to something that cannot break up with steam or water, like epoxy, And those things are in there. The fact that you even wrestled out a neck that's epoxied in there, you're a better man than I. I would have just called the guy and said, come get it.
Listen, come get your guitar.
Come get it.
I
bro.
should
I'm
have
done.
said.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
it's done.
Did you do a steam?
Well, a number of things.
Yeah.
Steam didn't really do a whole lot, because it's not, water soluble.
Right.
Or even it was a little heat helped.
Yeah.
Heat helped. But it was a lot of just elbow grease and a little bit of luck.
Jeez.
I've had a couple of disasters. I think I was doing a Dove or somebody, it might have been 60s or 70s Dove, and then that came out about that far and never came out anymore.
Yeah.
I built him a new neck.
Really?
God damn.
I did. No, I had to cut it out. I had to cut it out. It just so happened that I had a couple of laminate. It was one of those three,
Why did it stop? It was just frozen?
that was it. I mean, it was a multi-laminate neck. It was maple.
Right.
It was 3 pieces of wood, maple. And I built him a new neck, put the headstock veneer on it, put the fingerboard on it. Here you go. Here's your whatever $700 repair that I just spent $3,000 fixing.
Jesus God.
Had to do it.
Lord.
I did. I got it.
It took less time.
So here's the other thing too, man. And let's cover this while we're doing this. So any like doing a neck reset on an instrument, this is kind of like the open heart surgery of guitar repairs, right? This is the separator of repairment.
Yeah.
Right? So if anybody ever says, oh, I'm a repair guy, I'm a repair guy, I'm a repair guy, the $1 million question is, do you do neck resets?
Right.
And I'd say 2% of the practicing population of repair folks actually do this. In my opinion, if you don't do this, you're not a repair.
Right.
However, this is the open heart surgery of it. And so there's
Is it the kin to playing upright when you call yourself a bass player?
No.
Okay.
Because I am a bass player and I know how to play upright. And I will. I'll own both of them.
Okay.
He'd sooner play tuba.
Yeah.
So check it out. If no one should be experimenting with doing anything like this, but if you ever had success with removing a neck or whatever it might be, then you will know the most important tip you could ever give anybody in pulling a neck, period, is when you're wiggling this neck, you're going side to side. You're going side to side when you're wiggling the neck to get it out. Okay. You never go back and forth.
Why is that?
Because if you go back and forth, that's how you actually break your heels. Because there's nowhere for it to move, so the tension working against it only puts great strain on your heel.
Yeah.
And also, part of it's still glued,
And part of it's
loose, and the part that's still glued stays glued.
That's right.
Right.
And the other
So,
part
The
lets
name of
loose.
the game is to put your thumb behind the heel. And as you're heating it out, you want to do this with the neck back and forth like this. And you want to keep pushing, as if you keep pushing, it'll come right out. But as soon as you go back and forth in this fashion, you will break your heel every single time. So anytime there was a broken heel repair that we see, or whatever it might be, we can tell exactly how it was done. They didn't go side to side, they went back and forth. So every time you feel the need to see some movement and you just want to pull that neck out and you start wrenching at it, your heel is going to break just as soon as you do that.
Wow.
Patience is the key, and knowing what not to do is key too. But this is the separator of all repair folks. This right here,
Yeah.
because this is something you can't fake.
Yeah.
This is something that you can't fake. It's either you have a system down, you have a process, and you know exactly what's going on, or you will fail every single time.
Yeah.
So how much do you think that a heel crack affects the value?
Great question.
I mean, because on the we've seen a couple that about like on an advanced jumbo or something.
You're not
It's a
talking
$10,000 crack.
Yeah.
You're talking about a 10 to 20%, depending on how the crack was fixed afterwards. But you're talking about a deduction in overall value, 10 to 20%.
Agreed. Sometimes more. Only a hair less if it's like a one-of-one guitar. If there's a one made of that year or whatever it might be, and whoever did the neck reset broke the heel, it's still worth all the bucks in the world. However, if it has something to compete with, anything, I'm with you. 25% hit, whatever it might be. I totally get that.
Right.
I totally get. So that's an expensive
See,
side
you
to
talk
side.
now. You talk now. When you talk about that.
That's an expensive repair. That's an expensive mess up for a repair person. So that's why when we're doing neck resets, especially on a pre-war Martin, what do we get for a neck reset now? 1,500, 1,200. What's our price on it?
Well, you know, like
Just for the
$1,000 is a median price.
Just for the neck reset part, and then the refret, everything is piled on
That
afterwards.
seems
But if you
low,
think about
man.
it,
It
I
seems
know.
low to me.
So
God.
I've heard this before too, where I'd look at a project, wide heel Gibson, whatever it might be, and I'm like, man, this is let's say it's a $1,500 neck reset on, say, a $25,000 guitar. You're like, oh man, I got a guy that'll do it for $500. Yeah, go for it, bro.
Right,
Go
right,
for it.
right.
Because the person that's doing it for $500, respect to them. However, I'm pretty sure of one thing is they're not carrying liability insurance.
Right.
You know, not at $500 a neck reset. You know,
Right.
so if they mess up, that's a big mess up. And there's a lot of tap dancing that goes involved in telling the customer that you
Right.
just devalued your instrument by 25%.
It happens to everybody, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, it happens. Have liability insurance.
Right.
If you guys are doing this at home for a living, and if you want to be taken seriously at all with
Right.
projects, whatever's on your bench, have liability insurance.
And you're not going to do a $500 repair.
And then all of a sudden, your neck resets turn into $1,000. How
Right.
does that work, right?
Right,
You know,
of course.
But
yeah.
if you've done this before and you don't need to pay the rent,
Right,
no one's going to do this for $500.
Right.
There's too much work in it. There's too much work
right.
in it.
Not enough people doing it, or they can do it.
That's right.
Yeah, and then
That's right.
people buy these old guitars that are really cool, these old K's and Harmonies, and they think, this is a great guitar. It was only $300.
No,
But it needs a neck set,
Dude.
and that's 3 times what the guitar they paid for, right?
You know, it's kind of, you know,
Yeah.
the neck
Just
reset.
don't do it.
Dude,
Yeah.
Check it out. The neck reset is kind of like, for a guitar player, it's like playing fast. Check it
Yeah.
out. Some people say, oh, I don't like that. I don't like it. It's going too fast. It's not even musical anymore. Really?
You can't do
Yeah.
it.
It's because you can't do it.
Right. Right.
It's kind of
Right.
like that with neck resets too. That's the separator. I always ask folks. My repair guy said X, Y, and Z about my guitar. Yeah, ask your repair guy if he does neck resets. Yeah, that's cool, but ask him if he does that. Because a lot of times we're like, no, I just, it's just the time. And,
Yeah, I mostly
You know,
do frets.
it's the
Yeah,
ti- you know,
mostly.
I
I
just-
just like doing frets.
Yeah, but I'll tell that guy how to do his neck resets.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, that's amazing. All right, that's amazing. All right, my arm's getting tired from holding this. Thank you for
I'll go there.
being on the show.
Sure, of course.
I appreciate it, man. All
course,
right,
man.
so
Awesome.
this concludes portion 1.
Absolutely.
All right,
Portion 1.
Thank you.